now I would like to introduce you Katja Niggemeier, who will tell about the Berlin experience. Katja is one of the first German neighborhood manager, professional neighborhood manager, and one of the around 100 neighborhood managers in Berlin. She has a background in political studies, political science, and she has worked before as a cultural manager. But very soon she discovered that this urban development and neighborhood management is her passion, and she moved to that field. And since 2000, sorry?
What do you want to say?
Soldiner Strasse.
2008.
Since 2008, she's the neighborhood manager of Soldiner Strasse, a neighborhood that's in Mitte in Berlin. And she is also author of the participation handbook. It's in German, and you can have a glimpse, one of the authors.
Yeah, it's written by many people.
It's a very good and very practical handbook, so you can have a look.
So it's a handbook on participation, which is edited, which was by the Senate of Berlin, and we were commissioned to do it.
So basically the city government of Berlin. Katja?
Yeah,
the floor is yours, and the rule of today is you feel free to ask questions whenever it gets very difficult or very messy. And we are recording everything, so speak up, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I really like to start with to thank you, Linnalabor, especially Tele and Regina, for inviting me and for your hospitality to cycle me around Tallinn. This is my first time here, and I enjoy it very much, and I hope that I come back soon here. So I like it very much. So thank you, and also for your professional way of organizing, because as I understand it right, you are mainly not paid. You do it with many enthusiastic people, mainly on a voluntary basis, and I think that's fantastic work, definitely. Because what I like to introduce you today is a top-down approach of neighborhood management in Berlin. Do you understand me? Also in the last rows? Yes? Okay, fine. Who has been in Berlin? Okay. Yeah, quite popular city, and huge changes going on in the moment. We deal with a gentrification, in a very strong way. But I like to introduce you the neighborhood management. Just next slide. This is the socially integrative city. Soziale Stadt is a continuation of urban renewal policies focusing on an integrated operational approach. So I would like to explain you what does that mean, an integrated approach. A combination of urban development, housing, social and economic policy instruments. So we deal with the whole range of what interests us as human beings and what are the needs of human beings. And a network of public, private and business protagonists on neighborhood level. Just next thing, the program, there's a mistake, but, and it's integrated city. It's a program which is implemented all over Germany. The program in general is funded by the Federal Republic of Germany and the federal states of Germany. So this is the main funding. In Berlin, we also add money from the European Union, from the Fund for Regional Development. And there are legal foundations. It was set in 2004 for this program, the socially integrated city. So that means that Germany definitely wants neighborhood governance, because it's written in the law. So I give you a short idea of this is Germany, and this here we have Berlin, And this is the federal system of Germany. All in all, it's 16 federal states. We have 3 city-states, Bremen, Hamburg, and Berlin. I just tell you because this program is strongly connected to the policies and the administrative level in Berlin. So just continue. So this is, it's a little bit like this, it's more like this, Berlin. This is the city of Berlin with its 12 districts. And I think many of you have been to the district of Mitte, maybe, visited the Brandenburger Tor, had some fancy evening in Kreuzberg, at Schlesisches Tor. We have a lot of tours. And yeah, I'm working, just next slide, please. These are the neighborhood managements in Berlin. And as you can see, most of them are located in the inner center of Berlin. And I think this is really special. If you read about the news of Stockholm, they are talking about the suburbs. When you think of Paris, of London, it's mainly about riots in the suburbs, but our disadvantaged areas are located mainly in the inner center of Berlin. This will undergo a huge change in the moment, but I think for the next 7 to 10 years, this neighborhood management will stay in these areas. And there are also some neighborhood managements outside the city. This is Spandau. Maybe you have, I think you have never heard, maybe, yeah, you have heard of Spandau, okay. They don't consider themselves as belonging to Berlin, for example. And here you have Marzahn, Hellersdorf, where you find these huge social blocks. But in these areas, it's more or less, yeah, Gründerzeit. Next slide. And this is the area of Mitte. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about concerning the space. So our neighborhood management is located very much in the north of Mitte. As you can see, Soldiner Strasse. And all in all, we have 8 neighborhood managements in Mitte. We have 11 in Neukölln and 34 in total. And you have to take into account here the Chancellor of Germany is located. And you find more or less these neighborhood managements in the backyard of the center. So this is special about Berlin, I think. Next slide. So just to give you a short idea of how it was implemented, it started in 1999 with 15 neighborhood managements, mainly located in the western center of the city. There were just a few in the east part of Berlin. And they are now, yeah, I'm lacking the English word, they are now stabilized, they don't exist anymore. So it was handed over to the residents in the neighborhood. In the beginning, there was no neighborhood council, just people from outside entered the area. They were commissioned by the city of Berlin, like a little bit like an UFO. And they had some tasks to fulfill, but of course this was one of the first problems, that they just entered from outside. So this is not bottom up from the neighborhood, but like from outside. And from 2000 to 2002, the Senate of Berlin implemented a pilot project, 1 million for the kids. That means 500,000 euros for each of these 17 neighborhood managements, to find out if residents are able to make the right decisions, whatever that means, but if they can handle the money. And this worked out quite well. So in 2005, the neighborhood council was implemented to each of these neighborhood managements. And the neighborhood management in general was broadened to 34 areas. So you see, Berlin, the city of Berlin takes it as a serious instrument, a serious tool of neighborhood governance in the city, and will continue like this. Just next slide. So what does it mean, areas with special development needs? They are characterized, like you should guess, yeah, deficits in urban development, deficits in infrastructure, economic stagnation, high rate of unemployment together with the high rate of now non-German speaking households. We don't speak of migrant households anymore because I think Berlin is now getting up to 50% of migrants who are not born in Germany, and this includes everything from Turkish to Arabic to people from the European Union. But I think in 2020 we reached this figure of 50% of non-Germans living in Berlin. Even now you can just enter parties where no one is speaking German anymore. So, but you have this high rate of unemployment together with this migrant or non-German speaking household. You have increasing social and cultural segregation and exclusion, a lot of health problems which are strongly connected to the education problems, and increasing delinquency in public areas. So that's like the statistic, and the Senate, the city of Berlin, decided which areas become the status of a neighborhood management. Yeah, what are the components of successful neighborhood management? Every neighborhood management has a team as a main actor in the area. We have an on-site office in the area. The interdisciplinary networking of administrative bodies. That means we are strongly connected to the administration of the district and of the Senate. Do you understand what I mean by the Senate of Berlin? The city-state of Berlin? It's somehow, it's like you should, if you would deal with the, how can you compare that to Tallinn? Like, you don't have this. You are somehow always talking also with the ministerial level, not only with the city level, but with the, because Berlin is a federal state, not only a city in a federal state. So that makes some things easier and some things more difficult. We have to write an integrated strategic and activity plan every year, together with, as you can guess, the neighborhood, the district, and the Senate. So it gives you an impression of with how many people we have to talk about strategic and project stuff in this neighborhood management. So I'm mainly sitting in front of my computer instead of being in the field. So it's, yeah, it is a pity a little bit. Our main task is to empower people, helping people to help themselves, whatever that means. We can discuss this later. What means these neighborhood councils are the heart of the program now. We have neighborhood and residence funds, a multitude of projects within the different focus areas, and the civic commitment to work towards socially integrative neighborhoods. I think we run 50 projects per year in each neighborhood. So it's quite a lot we have to deal with. Next slide. So this is teams as main actors in the area. We are contracted. I am employed for a company. The name of the company is LIST. It's not really visible over here. LIST is short for Lösungen im Stadtteil, solutions for neighborhoods or solutions for quarters. And I'm employed, and this LIST company is commissioned by the Senate of Berlin. And LIST is running 4 out of 34 neighborhood managements in Berlin. So there are more organizations and companies who run these neighborhood managements. We are 3 altogether. And my colleague Hayal Düz, she's from Turkey. She's born in Germany, but she has a Turkish background. And this is a quote from quota from the Senate. We have to have one person in our team who has a migrant background. Yeah, which fits to the migration of the neighborhood, the migrants of the neighborhood. So in our neighborhood we have 60% Turkish people. So she is from Turkey and able to approach all these mainly Turkish women who show up and want some information. We are outside of administration, that's very important, and we have this on-site office. We have also 2 students who support us and 2 people. They called Kiezläufer. You could say, translate it as neighborhood walkers somehow. These are two people who are employed by the job center. So we don't give money to them, but the job center. And they are, they just walk around the neighborhood and talk to the people and take care of the dog shit and all this this stuff in public space, because it's quite common all over Berlin that people just throw their garbage everywhere they stand and go, especially mattresses, and throwing them into the river, for example. So it's, I don't know, it's very, very common. So, and then they call the garbage company to, and so on, so on. And this is the neighborhood council. This is minimum 55% of residents have to be in this neighborhood council, and maximum 49% of initiatives, organizations, schools. Like you can see in our case, it's the neighborhood center, the nursing home, a citizen initiative, a mosque. We have 8 mosques in our neighborhood as well. So we have to deal with also some inter-religious projects. The local economy, social initiatives, whatever you can think of, it depends on what resources are in the neighborhoods. Did you have questions until now? You can follow me? Okay. If there's something you definitely don't understand, please ask. Maybe just one slide back. This neighborhood council is elected by the neighborhood. So we have elections every 2 years. We try to activate all the residents and all the people who are working in the neighborhood to vote for the neighborhood council. Everybody who is 16 years and older can be part of the neighborhood council. He has to announce that he is interested to be in the neighborhood council. Then he is put on a list, and we take a photo and just show it in the newspaper. And they have to be elected, these, especially the residents. And that's, so to be honest, we have quite difficulties in the moment to find especially residents for this neighborhood council, because you have to like to sit, to talk, you have to have some language skills, you have to be, I think, able to speak in public. So you can easily imagine that, for example, young people are not so attracted by this neighborhood council, as well as people who are not very well in German language. So that excludes many of the people who live, especially in our neighborhood, because there are many, especially women from Turkey, who don't speak German, so they will not be attracted in this neighborhood council. But this is the participation instrument or tool we offer with the neighborhood management. Other instruments are offered throughout the projects. So this is the steering group on district level. That means we meet, let's say, every 3 months in this with this many people. These are all our neighborhoods in Mitte. These are the neighborhood managements. We have a coordinator on district level, a coordinator on the level of the Senate. We have all the departments on district level, like health and social departments, education, culture, economics, youth, finance, urban development. And the lead has the department for urban development. That's the structure on district level. And of course, the Senate is also participating, but we mainly talk on district level if it comes to the administration. So is it a little bit clear? Okay, fine. And this is our steering group on local level. That is not only on the district level, but on the local level. We meet every 4 weeks, and this is the most important group we have. This is the most important group? Yes. Even more important than the neighborhood council? No, but this is the steering group of the neighborhood management. Every neighborhood management has this in Berlin. There's always a strong partner. In our case, it is a neighborhood center. In many other cases, these are the publicly owned real estate companies, of the city of Berlin. Of course, they are quite logical partner of a neighborhood management. Then you have the coordinator of the Senate. You have the coordinator of the district office of Mitte. You have our team. And we have 2 speakers of the neighborhood council. They are elected out of the neighborhood council. So 2 people of the neighborhood council take also part in the steering group. That means that people from the neighborhood are just direct in contact with the Senate and the district, and just can ask their questions and take care that the wishes and needs of the neighborhood are implemented in this steering group.